Okay, hello everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all back to another episode of Christian Musicians Corner podcast. All right, so a lot of you already know that this podcast is an audio version of the blog. So, there is a Christian Musicians Corner blog that's been quite on for over a year now, and we've got so much articles on the blog, but due to popular demand, we decided to have an audio version of the blog, and hence Christian Musicians Corner podcast. All right, the last podcast I released was like 3 months ago, and quite a lot of things have been happening, and I really wish I could say that I'm fully back, but truth is I am on my journey back. All right, so this is just the first step in my journey back to full podcasting and blogging again. All right, so that said, today on Christian Musicians Corner podcast, I'll be featuring an interview I had with someone that I respect so much. His name is Msugh Anom. All right, Msugh is a Nigerian rock singer and songwriter known for his deep, meaningful lyrics that speak much of his faith, and also for the quality music he does. I can tell you this for sure. I've listened to quite a number of some of his releases. All right, so he has published 2 albums which are available on digital music platforms, and the first one is Getaway, and the second album, which was released this year, is the Confidence album. And if you like to listen to those albums, the links are on the blog, so you can find the links to listen to the albums on Christian Musicians Corner blog. All right, so I've always admired the level of excellence that he puts into his writing and production. So you could tell that's why I'm really excited about interviewing him today. So without wasting so much time, let's dive into the interview. All right. So Msugh, thank you very much for agreeing to do this. Can you share a little bit of your childhood days? That's before you started music.
Yeah, so my childhood before music, it was a pretty normal childhood. I grew up around lots of music also. My dad used to love listening to music, so there was a lot of music around the house, from the oldies, Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, lots of Michael Jackson as well, so that was the kind of childhood I had. There are no restrictions necessarily, so I had access to listening to all kinds of music, various genres, various artists, and so on. So basically that's how it was.
Wow. So what or who would you say motivated you into rock music then?
Well, I think it also had to do with my dad's music preferences. He used to listen to a lot of guitar music. Not like he was a rock fan necessarily, but he became a Christian at a point in his life when we were still kids. So he used to listen to a lot of there was praise. There were these integrity music tapes that he used to buy. It was praise 1, 2, 3, all the way to 14, and I think even further up. And that was a lot of guitar music, and lots of others as well. So I think it may have begun from there. My taste for that kind of music probably begun from there, and then it moved on. As I grew up and started listening to various music genres, somehow I just preferred rock music for some reason. But I think the origin was from there.
Interesting. Okay, so you can say it's a journey that started long ago, not just an event that someone introduced you. All right, so now let's take it a little deeper. What's your personal goal for writing and making music?
Okay, so when I write music, what I want to achieve is I want to first of all, at least the music I wrote earlier on, the lyrical content a bit more complex, So I like music that gets people to think, You don't just listen and get it right away, but it gets you to think. And my music is generally music of the faith. So when I write, I want to inspire people to think about God, to think about their faith, and what they can get out of their faith, and to also inspire hope in people, because our faith is one that, the Christian faith is one that is supposed to give people hope. So that is what, when I write, these are some of the things I'm trying to communicate. Get people to think, communicate my faith, the message of God's love, the message of hope as well. So this is what I try to push forward. And when I write, I'm also I also try to write very poetically, so there's a lot of rhyme in my writing. So I like for the music to also be pleasurable to the ears. It should sound right poetically. So when I write, that is what I try to achieve.
Nice. So are there some challenges you face doing music in Makurdi?
Okay, so doing music in Makurdi, I know many people, even people from Makurdi, have had to move out of Makurdi to go do music. And it's not just the Nigerian thing. Even in places abroad, in the US, there are certain states or locations that are hubs for success in music. You talk about Nashville, Tennessee, places like that. Musicians tend to move towards places where the tendency of making more money or just becoming more popular is. In Nigeria, of course, most people gravitate towards Lagos, and then probably some Abuja, but mostly Lagos though. So the challenge of doing music in Makurdi is, around here, what are people willing to pay for, and especially if you're someone whose music has more value, played live, you need to do gigs. So if you set up a gig, who's willing to pay the value, to pay to get tickets that are up to the value of the gig that you've set up, that kind of a thing. So that's one of the challenges that I face here. And apart from that, another challenge is the number of fans for the rock genre of music. Not too many people are into rock. Even though I've influenced a number of people to love that genre of music, but not so many people are into that kind of music around here. That may be one of the challenges we face, but music is international now, and there's a lot of access to people worldwide through various music platforms, so you can make whatever kind of music you want to make and find your audience and push it out to them. But my Makurdi fans, lots of love to them. A lot of people have showed love for my music. I've bought, have listened to, have said lots of nice things about the work that I do. So I truly appreciate the love that I've received from the Makurdi audience.
Yeah, that's true. I love that you have a positive mindset about these things. So apart from music, you also work in another organization, right? So how do you cope with the tedious nature of a 9-to-5 job coupled with family responsibilities and still make out time for music?
So yes, I do work a 9-to-5. I do work a 9-to-5. So it's made things a little more tedious, but I don't do music full time. It's for me right now. Music is a part-time endeavor. So I just prioritize everything, put everything in its place, and do what I have to do. When I have gigs to prepare for, it just means a little more extra effort, maybe a late night here and there, a little more physical strain. and all of that. So, but everything in its place, and everything in its time. So it's a little tight when you have another job to do. But music is not, it's not been a full-time thing for me. So I'm able to decide what to do when, and that's how it works for me.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about your faith a little. I know you are a Christian. Do you think your Christian faith has limited you in your music?
Yeah, so my faith, to say it has placed a limitation directly would be, I don't know, but of course, because of my faith, there are certain things I can't write about. I cannot include profanities or sing or make music that is anti my faith. So if that is a limitation, if that's the kind of limitation you're referring to, of course, then we would say it limits what I can do. But within the sphere of what is allowable, when you factor in my faith, there's the possibilities are endless. You can sing a love song. You can sing love, make and sing and perform love songs. I don't have anything against love songs, as long as they're clean. There's nothing wrong with love songs. I mean, there's a whole book in the Bible that is a love song, and I do not write music that is just directly connected to the faith. There'll be links here and there. Some of the music I write just talks about life. A song from my first album is called Getaway. At first listen, it doesn't sound like a music of the faith, but there are connections to it. It just talks about getting rid of relationships that are holding you back or pulling you down. So within the sphere of what I can write, the possibilities are still endless. I haven't even scratched the surface yet. So in that sense, there are just about no limitations to what I can do.
Yeah, I think I agree with you completely on that. I've heard people say things like, if not because of my faith, I would have gone far with my music. And I've always thought that that's not true. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So what are we to expect from you in the future with regards to your music?
In the future, I don't intend to stop writing and making music. I've got 2 albums out so far, so in the future you expect what you've gotten already. Even though, of course, you should also expect some kind of evolution. If you listen to my first and second album, you notice that there are some differences. Like the first album is a bit more deep lyrically. In the second album, I tried to simplify it a bit more and then integrate some local languages as well. So there may be some evolutions, to the kind of music I do in future. Just like many other musicians. But to the best of my ability, I'll just keep pushing out music, and still doesn't change the core message, which is a message of faith, of hope, and of love.
Awesome. We look forward to that. So finally, do you have any words of encouragement for other musicians who are also Christians?
So if you're a Christian and a musician, if I'm to encourage you, I'd say just keep doing music. It may cost you more than you're getting, but just keep doing it. And if you've got a local church, keep serving there. Don't focus only on music for the outside world. If you've got a local church, endeavor to serve there week in and week out. And as you receive the word, allow God to use it to give you a new song. So that's what I have to say for a musician who is a Christian. And another thing is, within the sphere of what you can write, the limitations are endless, like I said earlier. So just keep writing, and don't allow yourself to be restricted by just things that come directly from Scripture. Look at life and things around you and write about them. People need to hear that message as well.
Wow, profound. I've learned a lot from the things you've shared here today, and I know my audience have as well. All right, so thank you very much for your time. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for sharing honestly.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this with you.
All right, so guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to this episode of Christian Musicians Corner podcast. I believe you've learned a lot from what Msugh shared with us today. If you'd like to follow him on social media, the links will be on the blog, so you do well to search out this interview on Christian Musicians Corner blog, and you'll find both the links to his albums and the links to follow him on social media. So guys, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain for today. See you next time.